Hi guys. Okay, so I'm not sure what day we are on Vlogust. Been trying to do these every day, which I've managed somehow. Um, so update on Ross. He obviously it's Sunday, so at the hospital it's pretty quiet. Not a lot goes on. Doctors don't always show up. So it's been, a bit of a quiet day, which is good in some ways, but it's a bit frustrating for Ross, I think. He's been much the same as yesterday in most ways. Sleeping a bit and then chatting a little bit. I went in earlier today and we decided that because the girls are going on a bit of a holiday up to Newcastle, where I'm from, we would try and we wanted them to see Ross and for Ross to see them as well, as importantly. But obviously it's the first time that they've seen him, and because they're 5 and 3, I'm obviously really mindful of how weird it might be, because although Ross is doing incredible, he's not himself, apart from the obvious having a bandage on his head. His speech is slower than normal, it's more effort. And some of his decisions are slightly, just at the moment, hopefully just at the moment, just a little bit, different to normal, a little bit stranger. And so I took the girls up. I actually took them up when he's got 4 people on his sort of bit, and they were kind of out. So I thought I'll sneak them in now and just let them, not see anybody else, because with it being the neuro ward, it's all brain, and people do act a little bit strangely sometimes, and it's unusual for kids. And obviously some of the wounds that people have, and their heads are, bandaged and cut, and you can see scars, and it's quite gory. It's quite gory for children. So we went in, and they saw Ross, and they gave him a cuddle and a kiss, and they, Ross was saying he loves them, and they both had a little sit on his knee and a cuddle. And Brookie got a little bit upset because she said, I love you, Daddy, and she was a bit upset seeing his head and things, and she said, is it hurting you and stuff? And yeah, Ross was just his decision. He was very tired at the time when they came in, so he's starting to fall asleep, and it was a bit strange for them to see him like that. So they didn't stay long, and I took them back downstairs to my mum and dad and my sister, and their cousin came up as well. It's quite upsetting for me to see that, because we had a chat, me and the girls had a chat afterwards, and Brooke was a bit upset, and they asked a few more questions. And I've only ever given the girls basic amounts, and I'm always honest with them in a non-adult version, but I still pretty straight, and I allow them to instigate the conversations and things like that, and we spoke a little bit about stuff, and I just give them lots of cuddles. And right now they're not seeing me enough because I'm with Ross. I've been with Ross, and that in itself is quite scary for children. And we just got to get that balance right. We just got to monitor it over the next week and see how Ross is, and hopefully, fingers crossed, he'll be coming home. So I'm just, prepping the house for him coming back. But I'm very mindful that when he does come back over the next week, he's going to be a bit temperamental, and his body's readjusting, his brain's, it had a lot going on. That's not really something that I think children should be around at that early stage. Obviously longer term it's different, but I think at this early stage it's really quite frightening to see somebody that seem really different. And so I want to try and protect them from that initial stage, and hopefully that initial stage will go into something a little bit calmer, and hopefully everything that's in the swellings and stuff will start to go down over the next few weeks. And it's just day by day right now. It's really day by day. I think today was a calmer day, which has been a little bit tougher for me in a way, because I guess you just breathe. You actually have a moment to breathe, and acknowledge the severity of things. When I was at the hospital today and I had some time when Ross went to sleep, I was on my own, and I went downstairs and a guy was crying, a French guy, and I said to him, okay, I can't just really walk past somebody who's crying their eyes out. And I sat with him, and laws of attraction and that, I'm a big believer in that, we sort of have the conversations we're supposed to have and that kind of thing. His wife had brain surgery, she had a brain tumour, and by all accounts she was being kept alive on ventilators. And when he left, she was fine, and when he came back this morning, that was the situation. And he was on his own in the country, and as we spoke, I said, I feel you, I understand as much as I can understand. And he was really grateful that I'd sat with him for a bit and we chatted, and he said that, and I'm not religious, but he said that his priest was coming as we spoke, and I said, well, that's a good thing, we wait for that to happen. So we had that conversation, which was weird, and then I met another lady who, she'd been in a car accident, and she was a real eccentric lady, lovely lady, Lolita, and we got chatting, and she'd been allowed to go outside for a little bit and be in the sunshine, and she was absolutely loving it. And so I sat with her for a bit and we really connected, and she was saying, I just want to be outside with nature, it's feeding my soul. And like she was like, people think I'm mad, but she's like, I'm just I'm sick of all gadgets and I just want to be outside. She was great. I loved her. I thought she was excellent. So you make some right characters around the hospital. But I think today it's just been a day for me. The kids were a bit upset. It's sort of, taking it in and just working the best way to make this work. And, yeah. And then being at home in my own house without anybody sort of here. It's weird. Don't like it. But yeah, so I'm not down at all, and just a bit, it's one of those days. I'm not like, it's Ross, Ross is doing good, which is amazing. I think it's just maybe your brain sort of rushes progress at this stage, and you think, right, this is happening, and then today, Sundays are a calm day, and then you're like, okay, this is it. And Ross was getting quite stressed out today, just because he wants to go home. I was so grateful that the Wi-Fi worked enough to have the football on, and also I'd love to say a massive big thank you to Sheffield Wednesday. That's my husband's football club that he supports, and they did a tweet out today to wish him well, which really, really meant a lot to him. So yeah, thanks for doing that, guys. And he watched the game, and his brother and friends came around, and yeah, so he's had a good day, and his mum's coming up with some risotto for him later, so he'll be pleased with that as well. But yeah, thanks again for your continued support. You're all amazing. Thank you for all your well wishes and people offering support, and to all those that are going through the same thing. Just keep going, guys, hey? And yeah, have a good day. I'll speak to you all soon.